And the son of birthday boy. Birthday boy.
And keep from all we pray before our day. May all dreams that
I want to welcome everybody to this fellowship. Welcome everybody with small.
Microphone shake.
Welcome everybody wants to come to this fellowship. I want to call on the birthday boy, Rotarian, Mosba Johnny to take the order of Rotary, the birthday boy. The second mic, please.
Hello, friends. Yes, and friends of this global family. I say good morning this morning. Let's open our song book. The object of Rotary. The object of Rotary is to encourage and foster the idea of service as the basis of worthy enterprise, and in particular, to encourage and foster the following. Fourth, the development of applicants as an opportunity for service. Second, high ethical standard in business and professions. The provisions of the readiness of occupation and the defining of each areas of occupation as an opportunity to serve the society. The third one, the application of the idea of service in each
The four-way test. And to take that for today, we'll be calling on Rotary and Shale or Shika to take the four-way test.
Thank you, my president. Fellow Rotarians, the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Do it feel goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Quickly, we have a lot of activities lined up for today, so we'll quickly want to appoint the creator for today. He was nice out from different angles. The person of, okay, I have to call on the affected president, Rotarian Martins, the CP. If you please step forward, please. At least I can say, can you step forward, please? Rotarian June, can you please step forward, please? Yeah, good time for today, Rotarian June. Good morning, my president. Thank you for this great opportunity to decorate my beautiful sister and my sponsor, Rotarian June. She's a wonderful lady, and I know she's going to discharge the duty as more than how much we expect this morning. So, Jackie, I try to please greet everyone with one heart, and I'm sure we all have a great meeting today. Thank you, my president. You're welcome, sir. Thank you. No greeting. Take it home. They share very well. You are excluding the president, yes. Let's say, please just take notes. You're welcome. I can see you came on time. Your guests are the meeting before you. That's at the PM here. Good morning. My AD, if you don't care, you're welcome now. Oh, that's it. Quickly, we'll take one or two songs before when you answer for today. We'll take the first song for today. I have to call on Rotarian, the SA, so I say, Rotarian perform.
Good morning, my president. Rotary Vice President, guest of Rotary. I'll be choosing a song from page.
Wait.
I can't find it in this.
But I say we're still waiting.
But I'm proud I belong to it. Okay, I'm not the song. La 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 do 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 la 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 do 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 do. So I become to three.
I'm not going to that song now, and let the SA please know what we've done so far. Taking our time and not doing the right way. I'll give you another opportunity. You can do it the right way now. Thanks.
I count of 1, 2, 3.
SA for today, I wanted to appoint SA for today. In the presence of Rotary, the principal himself, next of all, please. The president. And I'm going to step out as well. The PA that came before, that the guest came before. the PhD that the guest came before in 19% for the person of Rotarian Moses Rotary place. Step forward, please. Can you please decorate the essay for today? The other way around. The other way around. Thank you very much.
Good morning, my president, good morning. Fellow Europeans and friends of good faith. My president has asked me to take this and the great report. This morning, as I always say, so this morning I want to encourage and challenge to give us a bullion band that will be able to take the bank this morning. Yes, for you. All right, so my president.
Thank you very much, Rotarian Moses. Quickly, I want to appreciate the presence of our guest speaker for today, the president of Mr. Oloshe. Olarabaju, you welcome, sir. He'll be duly introduced when his time comes. Okay, Rotarian Komo, you have the floor again.
Choosing a song from page 19. I am proud and belong to Rotary. You know, taking this song and the song of 5,000 men.
You have a lot of friends around, you can look for support, please. You have friends around, so we can support you.
Anybody that wants to support can support. People that want to support.
I can now say that the essays not bragging today, she showed herself. Nobody was supporting without seeking for support. My age is as well.
Support.
Rotarian, my PP, Badinton, you're welcome. And I can say Rotarian, yeah. I feel my PhD, our pastor. I thank Governor to the Rotarian. So you're welcome, sir.
I smile. Take out again. I don't smile.
Please just take no. She's taking already 7 minutes of our time.
Don't allow the song. I am proud and belong to Rotary.
I'm supporting you with the sum of 10,000 naira because you're not going around 10,000 naira. I'm supporting you. And I know the secretary is supporting you as well. 5,000 naira. 5,000 naira. Give up our guys, please. What is equally supporting? 5,000 naira.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. We're online here. This is Rotary Okeowo. I would like to support her with 20,000 naira.
20,000.
20,000 naira for Okeowo online, please.
Thank you.
How much is that? 45. My PP is my PP manager wants to support as well, if I'm right. Sir?
20.
Okay, not yet.
Chelsea,
Okay, 45,000 naira back. 2,000 naira for 20. You said, I don't understand. 2,000 naira. PE 5,000 naira. 5,000 naira. That's 52,000 naira. We can round it up. 52. We can show one support the common. It's been a while. 5,000 I shall show me. 7,000. Can we round it up? Go to them or can you round it up, please? Go to them or 3,000 naira, please. 6,000 naira, 60. Thank you. Can take this song now.
Count on. 1, 2, 3. La 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 la. Go la 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 la. Count of 1, 2, 3.
Now let's start off with this up, please. Second song, I'm apologies for this.
Good morning, my president. Good morning, fellow graduate Rotarians. This morning we have apologies from Rotarian Titi Layomi Babaranti, who is on our way to school to write exams.
Thank you, the secretary. Before we take the second song, we'll go introductions. Rotarians, introduction, please. Starting from my right. First.
my resident presidents, fellow lieutenants, guests and friends. I am Past Assistant Governor Benga Simonu. Currently, I serve as chair with activities for the districts. And I'm very proud to say that 18 or 2 committees under my committee have done very well and has made this group very proud. Very please give a round of applause, please. Next year, under the leadership of Mr. Governor-elect, Bola Bakari, I'll be serving as the club leadership learning seminar. And that's the largest in the district. This was an introduction. I'm sure at the appropriate time I would explain why I'm here. The president, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
At the appropriate time, Abi, or should do I now? Okay, good. Like you are aware that the district, the club leadership planning seminar used to be called team before. Used to be called district team assembly. A lot of involvements have come into Rotary. So many names have been changed, including what we call CLLS now. It's now called Club Leadership Learning Seminar. The seminar looks about all club leaders in the districts, and invariably is the largest district in any district, largest. So what we expect in this club is first and foremost to send in the names of all the attendees, and that's a minimum of 5 attendees who will be attending that planning seminar. The planning seminar is everything to the level at Orchard Hotel in Lekki, the place. Those of us who are coming, let us try and block our dates to make sure that we are available every 10 to 11, 2026. So let's try and block our dates so that all of us should be available. And what I'm trying to do is that this year's seminar, we want to try as much as possible to be one of the best seminars in terms of knowledge sharing. Opinions are Rotary, but unfortunately, our knowledge about Rotary is very limited. So what we're trying to do is to see how much we could use that 1 full day, 2 days online program to share as much as possible knowledge we think we should know when it comes to our expectations and our deliverables of our position in the club. So my distribution president, we are allocating 2 rooms to a club. Some clubs have requested for extra rooms. So paraventure, if your club need extra rooms, let us know early enough so that we can plan with the hotel to get extra rooms for your club. Because we're expecting minimum of 5, and I want to give you 2 rooms for that period. I will say that this club is one club that I am part of. You don't do this words. It's my home. 2 years ago, I was with AG. Not 2 or 3 years ago, I was at AG. 2 years ago, I was at AG. And I'm happy for the accommodation I've enjoyed for this club. So even before I become a AG, I was part of this club, and I'm very happy that I'm associated with this club. So, Mr. President, we will need the support for the leadership planning seminar as a club and as individuals. We will not put pressure on anybody because we all of us are coming to the same post. So the start of the committee is to see to you as president how the club will support and how we get the best out of that leadership seminar. So distinguished Rotarians, guests and friends, I will want to rest stop now. Should not be any questions. I'm available for addressing. Thank you and God bless you all.
Thank you, my AD. And then members in the house. Senator PAG, by me. And your Rotarian in the house. Visiting Rotarian. Rotaract, Martin is one as well. Rotary, yes. I know you forgot it, I know where you're going to go. Oh, okay. Thank you, my president. My name is Kyle Martins, Charter President, Rotary Club of Molly Golden Park. Thank you. Thank you, Rotary Martins. Any other Rotarian? Okay.
Good morning, Rotary President. Rotary Analyst Adedeji, President-elect, Rotary Club of Molly Golden. Thank you.
Welcome, man. Any Rotaract? Okay.
Yes.
Yes, please. I'll go my left. Any guests in the house? Any guests in the house?
Good morning, my Rotarian President and fellow Rotarians. Standing before me, Rotarian. It's a message, no Rotarian. Rotarian today by the grace of God. Yes. So it's a Mrs. Ademola's grace. She has attended our meeting both online and physical, and she intends to join with us this morning.
You're welcome, His Grace. Please let your honor of prophecy. Any other guest in the house? Rotaractor, I do you're leading the rotaractor, or so please introduce yourself.
Which are to showing for Victoria. Which are for the past president, district 912.
You're welcome.
Of July, by God's grace.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. With due respect,
We still have another guest in the house.
okay.
Her name is Mrs. Adekunle MB. She's a civil servant and she's the guest of the president. Thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome, ma'am. With due respect, I have to call on Rotary, if you're okay to please come and join the right table. The 8, if you're okay, come and join the right table, please. Yes, ma'am. So the club trainer, that's right. Yes. Please don't just put her in her hands till she gets here. I can see the great, please come over and carry a bag as well. The club trainer, so she has some duty to perform here this morning. Quickly, we'll go behind the gavel. Behind the gavel. Fellow Rotarians, warm greetings from the gavel. I sincerely appreciate every member for the commitment, time, energy invested in their club so far. The dedication, fellowship, service, and warm learning continues to strengthen our impact and visibility. I wish to update the House that the Rotary Club of Ikeja Connect Provisional formally wrote to our club, and the letter was posted straight on the Spirit platform last week for awareness. The intended president, Rotarian Jomishi Wale, was present to address the House and offer some apologies for the earlier misconceptions. After the deliberation, the House not agreed to move forward in the true spirit of Rotary and to chart a clear, supportive path towards a successful starting of the club. I'm pleased to announce that the club has successfully received the district grant. This is a significant achievement and testimony of it. The grant is positioned that will position the club for the impactful project, which is the provision of toilets and further strengthen Rotary service to our community. Congratulations to all members of Omole Golden for this milestone. Today, we are honored to host the chairman of District Club Planning Committee Rotarian, PAG Benga Sumano. He has just addressed the house. You're welcome, sir. As we continue the journey I encourage all members of the club to pay their second half bills promptly to enable the club to meet its obligation and sustain the plan activities for this year. Please remember that the seminar scheduled for today, being Friday, we promise to be insightful and enriching. Thank you for your dedication, cooperation, and unwavering Rotary spirit. Together we'll continue to be good the world. Yours in service of Adekunle and Bill Moses. Please let's give our president our applause, please. Any comment, committee report? Comment, committee report, proceed. Yes, please. Go ahead. Where's the microphone?
Thank you very much, my president, members of the House, friends and guests of Professor Harris family. I just want to sincerely say a very big thank you because last week I came late to the meeting, so I couldn't address the House as it's our first official meeting after our end of the year party. So I want to sincerely thank the president, the board of directors, all Rotarians, to say a very big thank you to everyone for supporting our end of the year party. It was indeed a very huge one. Thank you for the support, and we hope to see more of everyone. Thank you, my president.
Thank you. Okay. That's the goal. The amount of the grant was on the platform and it's 3.5 million naira for the provision. I said the provision of public toilet at Beggar. On the board meeting, it will be posted today. I had the information already, so it posted today for the board meeting. And the third question, which says the project for this month, the chairman said will be here today to announce what his committee intends to do. Thank you very much. Any other observation? Any other observation? During the other committee reports? Thank you very much. I want to welcome my DGN and the president of Rotarian, Sam Aitutu. Welcome, sir. Quickly, please can we get my house together for the DGN. I can see it's just the PG that does these things. Thank you very much. Annabelle, okay, quickly. The main thing for today will go into it. I want to hand over the microphone to the floor. I want to offer the microphone to the club trainer, AG Iberoken, to take over the proceedings.
Thank you very much, President. Good morning, fellow Rotarians and the guests in the house. Of course, today is the social day. The learning facilitator group is having a very, very important seminar for us, and it's very popular and it's very current. I'm sure we are all aware of the Tax Reform Act, and a lot of us are having a view of so that is the reason why the learning facilitator group has put this together for all of us, for the benefit of all of us as business entrepreneurs, as head of corporate organization, whatever you do, you need this because it affects all of us. So we have an expert within us that is going to break down every little and big thing that involves tax, that make us to understand that we know, that we will be able to apply it to our businesses one way or the other. So I would like to maybe first introduce our team that are available here, and because after that we'll call on one of us to read the profile of our speaker, who of course have been very early. We came in very early to this meeting. We want to appreciate you. In fact, I understand you came in much earlier than most of us here. Thank you. It shows you are a Rotary material, and possibly you are a Rotary already. Oh, fantastic. No wonder you know the rules. So welcome you. So now, so can we have all the learning facilitators team here? So let's have us stand up. If you are one of us, the group, if a member of that team, please can we have you stand up for recognition? So I'm sure our signal of office will still come around and they will all display it for us to identify with us. Thank you. So I would like to invite our doyen of vice presidents in the club to permit me to use that word, one of the club learning facilitator team, to read the profile of our speaker. Thank you. My Rotarian President, fellow Rotarians, it is a great honor for me today to introduce our guest speaker, in person of Mr. Oluseyi Olaniwaju. Oluseyi Olaniwaju is the Chief Finance Officer of Abuja Electricity Distribution, PLC, ADC, with over 20 years of leadership experience spanning finance, telecommunication, and digital transformation. Before joining AEDC, he said, as group CFO, secured the group and held a position as Vodacom Business Africa, Nigeria, including acting managing director and chief financial officer.
She is an accounting graduate from Yaba College of Technology and Oxford Brookhouse University in UK, where he received HND and Finance and BSc. Applied accountancy, respectively, with flying colors. He is also an alumni of Lagos State University of Jos, Lagos, Nigeria, where he practiced Masters in Business Administration, MBA, specializing in financial management, and University of Lancaster, UK, where he bagged MSc, currently pursuing PhD accounting from Harrisburg University, Tufts and Icos Island, British West Indies, UK. He is a fellow member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICAN, Chartered Association of Nigeria, CITN, Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, UMA, American Institute of USA, the Association, Nigeria Institute of Management Charter, NIM, Institute of Certified Course Management of Nigeria, CCMN, Institute of Directors, Nigeria, IOD, the Association of Certified Accountant, ACCA UK, the Society for Corporate Governance Nigeria, SFCG, and Association of Foreign Accounting Research, AFAR. Sheyi is a seasoned IFRS and trusted analyst on corporate governance and reporting matters with over 18 years practical training, experiences spanning virtually across all sections of business endeavor and academics. He has attended several trainings on auditing, leadership, corporate, marketing, budgeting, and planning, financial accounting, and governance strategy, marketing, budgeting, and planning, financial accounting and strategic business report, IFRS, IPSAS, and management in Nigeria, including Lagos Business School, MBA, and overseas. He anchored the IFRS conversion project for over 10 Lagos companies in Nigeria and has trained over 25,000 chartered accountants. Fellow Rotarians, I introduce you, Mr. Olusegun MPA, CCI, FCIOD.
Thank you very much. So, I will be standing on the existing protocol. The president of the club of Omole Godi, fellow Rotarian and guest of Rotary. I just told Madam that I'm a baby Rotary. I'm a baby Rotarian. I joined Rotary about 2 years ago, and because of my schedule, I've not really been very active. And funny enough, the interest of joining Rotary came to my heart when I came here to deliver a paper. I think about 3 or 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
You know, I love it. I love what happened that day. It was my first time attending. So I'm also a Rotarian. My job this morning is very straightforward. And I think I cited some of my friends here, Rotarian Shehu, Rotarian Motions, who invited me, and Rotarian Tokwe, that we went to secondary school together.
Good morning to you guys. So I've been asked to come and discuss understanding Nigerian new tax reform, practical guides for sole proprietors, micro and small scale enterprise. To do justice to this, we will look at the introduction to the new tax reform act or law. We go into it a bit. We look at the top major changes into the tax law. We discuss briefly about the EDI, Economic Development Initiative, which was practically a major change into this new reform. We talked a bit about company income tax and a bit about personal income tax. Then we conclude and I will take questions. I would like to start by saying, unfortunately, tax is like a permanent debt that both individuals and companies will always pay to the government, provided you are earning income. I would also like to mention that people don't like paying tax naturally, especially if you find yourself in a country where there is no accountability and there is nothing to show for it. So you struggle to pay the tax because you'll be like, why am I paying tax? Especially where you have to produce or provide everything you need. I'm sure most of us in our houses, we are using borrowed. We pay security due to the estate where we stay. We pay for road construction in our estates, you know, and you then wonder, what is the use of this tax we are paying? I tell you, that is a major question in Nigeria that even government have not been able to answer. But we are praying that one day we will get answer to it. When you look around, you see what your taxes is doing, and you'll be like, come on, I must pay tax. I think that's the major problem that is asking for answer in Nigeria. But we hope one day we'll get there. Because, I mean, in recent times, we all know what is happening to our colleagues, our friends. Everybody is jumping to the advanced country where things work. You know, a friend called me yesterday around 8 p.m. and was saying, police, it's not easy. I'm making the money though, but this business, you know, I said, just be saving. When you are tired of the place, you can come back home to come and do something for yourself. What am I trying to say? The taxes in those places, the only, and they even pay more. The only difference between there and here is that they see what the tax money is doing for them. Now, that will lead me to the introduction into this new tax law. As we all know, the tax law that we have been using prior to 2025 were the laws made by our colonial master. Some before 1960, some after 1960. Most of these tax laws, you know, are archaic. They are not even relevant to the day-to-day activities anymore. But when Buhari brought the late President Buhari, when he got to the seat of the presidency, he was advised that most of these laws are archaic. What can we do? At that point, they don't have the will to go all the way, changing the whole tax or bringing about a reform in tax. But what President Buhari was doing on a yearly basis, I think 2019, was that anytime they passed the appropriation bill, they always pass a law we call Finance Act. What that Finance Act was doing at that time on a yearly basis is that it was reforming and bringing up to date these archaic tax laws that were enacted some 60, 65 years ago. So was using it on a yearly basis to address some obvious things and all that. I mean, some of those critical things it changed that time was you can now communicate with the tax man through electronic means. Prior to that, and you always have to do one photocopy or the other, you must go to the tax office and all. And they changed quite a number of things using that Finance Act. But when President Tinubu got in, was of the opinion that how long are we continue to change these old laws using Finance Act? But can't we go all the way to reforming the entire law, then to current day reality? And it took the bull by the horn, and they brought up the tax reform, which we all know has been signed into law, and we now have what we call Tax Reform Act. It's important that I also mention that there are 4 acts under these tax reform laws, 4 major acts. Maybe not all of them are applicable to us because I believe I'm talking to business owners and all that. Some are principally applicable to the government, while some are applicable to us. So what are these pillars or major components of the Tax Reform Act? The first one is the Nigerian Tax Act. This Nigerian Tax Act consolidates all the taxes, all the tax acts we have prior to now. You know, before now, we have different acts for different taxes. We have value-added tax, we have company income tax act, we have personal income tax act, and so on and so forth. Withholding tax regulation, all of them are scattered all over the place. This number 1 component of the Tax Reform Act, which you call NTA, Nigerian Tax Act, consolidates all the tax laws into one. And for tax practitioners, I won't lie to you, this is a lot of convenience and comfort because you don't need to be jumping from one act to the other before you understand what Nigerian tax law has. So that's simplified into one. They brought everything together, you know, and they changed some of the provisions, like I mentioned, some of the old provisions to bring reality into our tax law. That's the number 1. The number 2 tax act under the Tax Reform Act, are you with me, is the Nigerian Administration Act. We call that one NTAA. And what is this looking at? This one creates standardized framework for registration, filing, assessments, and enforcement across the country. So what this second act is doing is trying to simplify the processes of registration, assessment, and filing of our taxes. One key thing this tax has brought to the table, number 1 is technology. I'm sure some of us have heard about e-invoicing. That now when you invoice your customers, you are also expected to put that invoice on the tax authorities portal. So that tax authority, you know, they can bring more people into the tax net and they can also see this transaction, you know, on a real-time basis. Although this has its own disadvantages because people are like, this is extra money. How do we invest in infrastructure and all that and all that? For me, it is a temporary thing. You understand? As you go, it will ease up. I'm sure I will see this on open portals where people can do this and you won't have to pay so much. So that's what the second tax act is. Is streamline our dealings, you know, automatically with tax authority. The third major tax act under the Tax Reform Act is the Nigerian Revenue Service Act. This principally affects the government. And what the government trying to do here? They are trying to say currently, Federal Inland Revenue Service is doing much more than collecting taxes. The people collect some more revenue. That why don't we change their name to reflect the function is currently performing? And they said now going forward, FRS now changed to Nigerian Revenue Service. This is backed up by the third act. As we speak, this act has already taken effect. FRS has changed its name to Nigerian Revenue Service. And one other thing on of changing this name is that revenue from all government agencies will now be paid through the Nigerian Revenue Service. The scope of the former FRS inflow to the government must now be passing through. Who have criticized this law? NPA, we put this money there. Custom is going to the central. But for some people, they think this is the way forward because some countries, this is the agreement they have. Even in Africa, yes, all the money goes through a particular agent, and they refer to those agents as revenue service. So in Nigeria, we have joined the league so that government money can now go into the same force. There can now be more accountability. It will reduce, in quotes, some of the sharing at some levels, as the case will be. But again, we also pray that the central will use the money judiciously. So that's the third one there. The last but not the least, we used to have joint tax board, which is made up of all the state tax agencies and the federal tax agency. So that has also been changed. They now call it Joint Revenue Board. And the act supporting this is Joint Revenue Establishment Board Act. So we also expect that at the state level, some of this should also be centralized to the revenue service. I wouldn't know how that will happen. No state has changed their name yet, but we are hoping that as we go by, they will also change the name to revenue service, as we go. So this is the breakdown of this Tax Reform Act. So I said there are 4 acts in it. The first one is Nigerian Tax Act, which consolidates all the laws on tax. The second is the Nigerian Tax Administration Act, which simplifies your dealings with the tax authorities in terms of filing, assessment, registration, and all that. Then we also have the Revenue Service, which streamlines the activities of the federal agency in charge of collection. And finally, that the name of the Joint Tax Board has also changed to Joint Revenue. Are you with me? So that is what has happened. This is a major shift in our tax landscape. Since we got our independence, no government, has gone this length in changing the tax structure. That's why it is a welcome arrangement for so many people. But if you remember how I started, people generally don't like paying tax. And the reason for this is we don't see what the government is using the money for. But we are hoping that they will be more transparent, they will be more, and they will use this money well in the interest of the public. Now, moving forward, I have mentioned to you that a lot of laws, tax laws, have been repealed, and I'm sure you get that. Not repealed in its sense, but they have been aggregated into a new law called the Nigerian Tax Act. What are these laws that have been married together in one act for convenience and all? One is the Capital Gain Tax Act. We don't have it anymore. It's now incorporated into Nigerian Tax Act. Another is Company Income Tax. Not that we are not having company income tax again. We still have it, but it's now in the Nigerian Tax Act. The Industrial Development Act, Personal Income Tax Act, Stamp Duty, Value Added Tax, Petroleum Industry Act, Nigerian Export Processing Zone Act, the Tertiary Institution Trust Fund, the Custom and Excise Tariff Act, and so on. All these have now been
into one document. So if you want to know anything about any tax in Nigeria, just grab the Nigerian Tax Act. Go to the appropriate section. You will see what that particular tax is all about. And that's what the first tax act is doing. Everything has been put together. Then we've also spoken about the Nigerian Tax Administration Act, and I said principally, this one is streamlining how we remit, how we file, how we register with the tax authority. Everything is what has been put together in this act. And I mentioned to you that the principal thing here is that they are now thinking technology in the way we relate with the tax authority. So manual processing, manual filing, and all those things have almost been taken out. I've also spoken about the Nigerian Revenue Tax Revenue Service. The name has changed. I'm sure some of us have been seeing they've been doing a lot of campaign. And the reason for this is that they've expanded the scope of the former FRS. They are now in charge of major revenue of the government. We will see that in recent times, they've been having so many meetings with the customs, with every other person to streamline how this will work going forward. You know, and we also spoke about the Joint Revenue Tax Board. One major change that this is bringing up is the Ombuds office. That if you have disputes with any of the tax authority, you don't agree on what they have assessed you on, you now have a special court, you know, that will go and defend you. You don't need to pay, it's free. That this government, they are trying to mess me up. What they ask me to pay is too much. You go to that office to complain. They will look at your case on merit and they will go and defend you and either the tribunal or the court's resolution. So that's a major one. You know now that a tax authority can no longer be you. You have where to run to for assistance and for defense. That's one of the major things we have under the new tax law. Now, let me go a bit specific. I know some of us have questions in our hearts and all that. But there will be opportunity to take those questions. Let me look briefly at the major changes in this tax reform. The first one is VAT, value added tax. In fact, in the last 2 days, there have been shouts on social media that hey, they want to VAT our money, you know. VAT Act has always been there. Are you with me? So when you see all those things, I think you just need to talk to your tax consultant or talk to somebody that understands tax. VAT has always been there. In fact, let me also mention, one of the things this Tax Reform Act has brought up are some of the provisions in the tax law that have never been implemented. You understand me? You know, just like you have a soup, you are not turning the soup. You understand me? You won't know the caliber of meats that are in the soup. But when you stir it, what about intestine is here, goat meat is here, chicken is here, because you are now turning it. So because the nature overall of the tax law, some of the provisions that we have before that were dead, nobody is implementing them, they are now coming to bear. Are you with me? So one major changes in this reform is that some things change about the VAT. Are you with me? One of them is that we can now claim VAT inputs on all purchases. Prior to now, you can only claim VAT input on your direct cost of operation. What do I mean? What we pay to the government is called VAT output. When you invoice your customer, government says, let me have 7.5%. You know, used to be 5%. One of the finance act changed it to 7.5%. You know, and why did they do that time? They thought that Nigeria is the only country that has a very low VAT. If you compare us with some African countries, they are doing about 15%. So that was the reason they moved that up a bit to 7.5%. Are you with me? So before now, if you don't incur costs on direct cost of operation, same material and all that. You understand me? You can not claim VAT input. What is VAT input? That is what you pay to your suppliers when you buy items from them. When you bill, that money is not your money. We all know. When you collect it from customer, you pay it to government within 21 days of payment from customer. But what the law is saying is that what you now pay to the government will be the difference between your output and your VAT input. So it's the net amount you will pay. But remember, most people don't qualify for VAT input before now. Because if you don't buy raw materials, you don't buy this, you won't claim it. But now they said on all your purchases. So that means what you will now be paying to the government as VAT will reduce because of the net and because of the expansion of what you can claim VAT input on. For your information, this is major for most manufacturers for liquidity management. Am I communicating? So they are able to recover whatever VAT they paid to their own supplier. So that is there. Then another thing they've done under VAT is the refund. At times, when people do this reconciliation, they do it in a hurry and they make mistake. They pay more. One of the things they've simplified now is that if you have paid more at any point in time, you can get a refund. Am I communicating? And they simplify the process of getting refund. You can't get a refund from government. They would rather say you use it as credit. They would never give you. I'm telling you. But they simplify that process now and all that, and all. Then the other area they've changed something is the personal income tax. For me, this is the major shift, and I love it. Because before now, if somebody is earning 50,000 per month, they will still pay tax. You wonder, somebody earning 50K, by the time you remove the tax now, you bring it to 40 something. Why are you taxing poverty? You understand me? Why are you taxing poverty? So one of the things they've done is they've exempted all those people that are earning low from personal income tax from their salaries. You understand me? Or from the profit, if you're a one-man business and you are not earning, your annual is no more than 1 million, 1.2, and the rest, or 800 downward, you are not paying tax at all. That's a major shift under this tax reform. For the people that are earning high, you may not feel it, and that's what is happening now. They are complaining because for people earning high, they will pay more. Remember, we say personal income tax is carrying the concept of pay as you earn. People earning more should pay more. People earning low should not pay, or they should pay lower. So under this tax regime, most drivers will not pay tax anymore. Housemates will not pay tax anymore. All those low people, they will not pay tax anymore. For me, it's a major shift. And from analysis they've carried out, the bulk of taxpayers in Nigeria, they fall under that category. I think they are saying they are about 80, between 70 and 80%, you can imagine. And that's why the state government, they do not really favor this law when it started. Now, what are you trying to do? You want to reduce our revenue. By the time you yank all these people out, who will now be paying tax? But what they've also done is that for people earning more, the big boys around these tables, you will pay a little more than you have been paying before. So that we go to the principle of progressive tax. The higher you earn, the higher you pay. So that's a major one under here. And they've also introduced some reliefs. Are you with me? For it, no problem. You only get up to 300,000. Under this new law, your first exemption is about 800,000. And that also comes across whether you have high or high low. Your first 800,000 is not carried out. While it goes up, you now begin to pay that. So there's a relief, and there is an exemption of 800 on tax. Then another thing they introduced, they removed the consolidated relief and they brought in rent relief. Again, this is also for low earners, people that are not staying in their houses. You understand me? If you are rented an apartment, then you get a relief of 20% of what you have paid as rent, subject to a maximum of 500,000. But again, I'm sorry to say, if you are staying in your house, this will not be applicable to you. If you are staying with your uncle or your friend, this will also not be applicable to you. It's only applicable to you when you are what? Paying rent. You understand? So, what is it? So that's one major thing there as well. And there are a lot of allowances that are exempted from a PIT. If you invest in life assurance, you understand that the premium you pay will be backed out from this. If you have a mortgage and you are paying interest, that interest too will be removed, will be given, will be exempted from tax, and so on and so forth. So under this, I think it's only the big boys that will pay more. Why the lower people are handling very low, they will pay nothing. And the moderately people that are in between, they will pay less tax. That's a major change to personal income tax. The other one is the CIT reform. You know, in Nigeria, for the purpose of tax paying before, what one of the finance acts has done is that they have categorized companies in Nigeria under three main headings. We have the small company, we have the medium size company, and we also have the big company. Under the finance act, which they will take under this new law, if you are a small company, you will not pay any tax. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are a small scale enterprises, you are not going to pay any tax. If you are a medium size company, you only pay 20%. While the big company, they will pay 30%. As I'm talking to you, one of the discussion that is going on is that for the big company also, they should reduce the company the pay to 25. When they issue the guidelines on how this act will be played out, they are probably going to reduce the company income tax to 25%. Then we have the CGT, the capital gain tax, which is the tax you pay when you sell an asset, which includes shares and what have you. It used to be 10%. But do you know what the tax is? They moved it to 30% because in some jurisdictions, PGT and the CIT, they carry the same rates. So they wanted to do the same in Nigeria. But I think about 3 or 4 months ago, when the market had, it shook the market. And I think in a day, the market lost billions of naira because people wanted to move their money. But they actually moved their money out of the market before January 1. Because they felt that anytime they sell shares, they will be paying more capital gain tax. They were doing 10% before. This new law moved it towards 30%. Personally, I think it was too much. You understand? So through different discussions around the place, we learned that the Minister of Finance, as part of the guideline, they are also likely to reduce this to what? To 25%. And aside that, there are lots of other reliefs in the law, you know, that says that, for instance, if you sell your shares and the proceed is not up to 150,000 and the gain is not more than 10 million, 150 million rather, and the gain is not more than 10 million, in any 12 consecutive months, you will not be exposed to capital gain tax. So they've capped it. That if the transaction volume is 150 million, you will not pay. And the gain, if the gain is less than 10 million, you will not pay CBT. If this is happening within 12 months. So that's an additional relief on capital gain tax. They also said that for the purpose of determining value of your assets, that they will use cost as against using the fair value. Because some assets increases, you understand me? So they said that on 31st of December, any asset you have,
they will use cost as their value anytime you want to sell. That also will reduce the impact of the what? Of the CGT. Then of course, this new another major change is that they want to curb inflation. We all know that most of this revenue that these tax agents collect, some of them don't get to the pumps. We all know, say, these are no secrets, you understand? So they have now introduced a lot of technology aids to help government monitor these inflows. And that's one of the things I brought about e-invoicing, you know, and the rest of that. And we're now going to be using tax ID that is linked to our NIN. You know, a lot of rumors also gone on the social media that they are saying that you can't open an account if you don't have tax ID or what, you know, it's a no. Bankers will still open those accounts for you with your BBN and your NIN. But what they are saying categorically is that you need to have an identification with the tax authority that they can use to recognize you uniquely. And that's why if you notice, there have been a link from the Joint Revenue Board and the state tax authority for people to work, to register and get their tax ID. That tax ID is linked to your name, and it's just for tax authority to recognize you, you know. So you don't need it to open account and the rest of them. I've spoken about the tax onboard that is under the Joint Revenue Board that will help you defend yourself, you know, when you have any tax dispute with the tax authority and so on. So I have 5 minutes more. I think I've mentioned the major areas. The slide is plenty. We will not be able to go into them. So the other area, I think this slide will be shared with you. One other thing they put into this tax reform act is economic development initiative. They are saying that if you invest in certain area of the economy, you will not pay tax. And they've removed the pioneer status, as we all know. So this, more or less, this economic development initiative is replacing that pioneer status. If you invest in agriculture and food, you will not pay tax. If you invest in energy, mining and quarrying, health, creative sector, communication technology, utility projects, chemical and building, and all that, textile, industrial machinery, and all. If you invest certain amount of money for certain number of years, I also included the table here, you will not pay tax for those people. You know, in my mind, I think the thinking behind this tax reform is not a bad one. I agree. If they can clean up the various gray areas, which I know they will clean up, I suspect that from next year, we will likely go back to the era of Finance Acts, where those gray areas, you know, in the act, they will be using those Finance Acts to improve upon them. I suspect that will happen because there are a lot of gray areas, coupled with the fact that the version from the National Assembly is different from the version gazetted and all those stories. You know, that's Nigeria for you. And I think it's part of the resistance to change. People want to frustrate, despite the fact that it has its own advantages and it has its own disadvantages. No law is perfect, but over time, the laws can be improved to make it near to what? To perfect. Then I also have another slide here that spoke about the general exemptions. Some of them I've mentioned, personal income, on pension, on everything, on different areas, on CIT, you know, on value-added tax, withholding tax, and so on and so forth. Stamp duties, you know, even the law on stamp duties, you know, it has always been there. It's because they steer the act of, it's coming out again. So we now pay money when you do online transfer or on your document or for transactions. Now, what are the expectations of businesses from this new act? I've mentioned that number one, most businesses will now pay no tax or pay less tax.
The same thing is applicable to individual. There is lower tax burden, whichever way you look at it. Are you with me? And for government, you know, with the use of technology they have imbibed, it may likely lead to increase in revenue for them. And we are hoping that, I mean, we'll be able to use that to develop our economy. In rounding up, so that we can take questions. I will round up by saying that no tax reform is cast in stone. They are subject to improvements as the day goes by. Then I would also like to mention this very categorically, that when you are in doubt, when you don't understand, or when tax authority or tax agents have come to you and you don't understand what they are saying, please seek the assistance of the tax consultant. Thank you for listening, so that you don't need your own time.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you very much. That was the sounding. In fact, it was like I was in another classroom. I paid attention. Thank you very much. In natural fact, you simplified this for us. And I want to say that we may still need to call you. We'll be picking item by item. You will come and simplify for us, because there are a lot of technical, well, what we call jargons. It's not actually jargons the way we, but in English, we say technical jargons just to say how heavy they have for understanding. Thank you so very much. We appreciate this. And we will still call you, like I said. So now we move to question and answers. But I will pass my question first. So let's take numbers. Yes. We'll take 5, only 5, 2. Next, move from that side. 3. Yes. Any question? So we have 3 now. I'm sure some people will still wake up. Okay. So you'll be 3. She will be 4. In that order, number 5. So number 6, the president will take the last. Oh, so thank you very much, Mr. Shini. My own question is this. Having listened to you, rather than those little and great, it seems I'm a bit clear about this tax reform. But then I'm just looking at the Nigerian structure and the kind of person God has created us. There's nothing we cannot do when it comes to dodging. You see, when they said a certain amount will not be taxed and certain amount will be taxed, I know that Nigerians do what we have. Some people will, because of that, just declare a little amount as their salary and then collect the other ones, maybe at the back end level, in order to avoid even tax at that higher rate they had. Is there any because the implementation is my own problem, because I know that most times you have good intention, we pass laws, but the implementation and considering the kind of human being we have, how are they going to get that done? So simple. And then when it comes to states also helping the federal to get it right and get ready, because I'm sure the state has not brought out anything. The Land Use Act, the land charges, the one that is even biting harder, that they consolidating so many. Are they going to look into that? I hear that among what you presented. No, the land land use,
Charge.
charges. Commodity charges, where you see the people in the shop, you see some of these boys going to them to collect money under this revenue drive. So what are the actions for those? Okay. You comfortable standing or you want to sit while you take the questions? Please. So, immediate briefing. Immediate past briefing. Maritime President, good morning. Fellow residents and our guests. Yes, Speaker, I want to appreciate you for this exposition you're giving on this morning. Even though it breaks my heart a little bit that you had about Rotary here and you took your membership to another club. It's not too late to come back, sir. You'll be on my way, we are waiting for you. Thank you so much, sir. My question is this. While I was in paid employment, they structured our salaries to reflect basic salary, housing allowance, blah, blah, blah. Because we are made to realize that it's only your base salary that is taxable. Your allowances should not be taxed. I don't know whether the current act factored in that because that has given me some concern about structuring salaries for my military personnel I have. So is it only this base salary I'm going to tax or they will start taxing all allowances? I needed to know whether. Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you again, Mr. Speaker. The first thing I want to ask you, when you say pay the personal income tax for those earning 800,000 and above, you don't have that in Nigeria. If minimum wage is 70,000, that means everybody is earning more than 800,000. So why would that be a law? It's not realistic. If 70,000 is that's over 800,000, right? Why would you say so? Essentially, everybody is going to be taxed. Is there an oversight or that's the way it's looking at? I don't know. And then talking about rate as well. You see, at the end of the day, lawmaking should not be something to deceive the people. When you say you are giving 500,000 relief for rates, is there anybody here saying that 500,000 friends? I don't know. So it is so I doubt if there is any place for that. 500,000, I don't know. And the third is the input about facts. So that's available for only those who are manufacturers. I'm in the services, for example. I'm a lawyer. So I don't get to enjoy anything about input. Is that what it is? Only manufacturers that bring in raw material. Those who don't have raw material. Where's the equity in that kind of law reform? I have other issues for their personal, so I don't want to bring that to before. So maybe we'll talk here. First, Dr. Jefferson. My question is this, sir. In Nigeria, a local government chairman is allowances is about 1.5 million.
My bad, yeah. I got a message from, I think Lagos State. Can I read it? Dear taxpayer, please pay your. Bracket, DIP, number, I was not asked revenue, their website. I tried to get and I cannot actually access it. Then I have some, I don't know if staff or because what is the difference between the VID and the SIM? So I have a company account that is attached to my BBN, and I have my personal account. So could it be the advice to play something? You can just share more light. Thank you.
Good morning, my president. Yes, Peter, good morning. Yeah, my question is this. When you were talking about those major contribution of the economy that are having a mass reception, I didn't hear about real estate. And I know they are major contributors to it. I want to know whether there is yet. And also the one that I like down, that is, land use service charge. Then another one I want to ask again is, these local government people that harass people everywhere, transporter, and poor people that are the cash pushers, collecting tickets in the market and others. Please, is this new tax going to eradicate them in the system? Thank you.
The Rotary President, fellow Rotarians, guests, friends and family of Rotary. My question has to do with people that act as agents of collecting money, like lawyers, for instance. They collect rent on behalf of clients. And this money annually runs into millions. The tax law says that if you earn above 100 million for small scale favor, they will charge excess. Now, how do you separate the money you pay to the owners of those money and the percentage you collect on those money? Most of this percentage is maybe 5% or 10% on the money behalf of somebody. So how the tax coming to separate the from charts? Thank you.
Okay. Madam Speaker, my question is very simple. I read yesterday that is it true that the National Assembly has suspended the writing of the new tax law? And the second, no, don't worry, this one stretch. And the second question goes to in the public sector, let me say, public sector, who charge banks? When they are making payment, otherwise they are supposed to return, the payment don't come from the appropriate authority. Probably you send your invoice to Ministry of Finance. When the money is coming, it's coming from a different account. I need a clarification on that of tax. Because they don't pay the withholding tax or after the VAT that was charged. I can answer the question together. Thank you very much for the questions. I will start with the first one. And that's talking about tax evasion, especially as touching salaries and all that. The people will now have to separate the pay, reduce the pay on the face of it and all before they now remit tax. Let me start by saying that for PIT, we don't longer consider basic housing, transportation, and all those things.
for the purpose of tax payment. What the law says is that anything that you have by your way of employment in an organization, you will pay tax on everything. In fact, some organizations no longer break down allowances, basic transport anymore. They just do everything as a lump sum because by tax any plus the side hustles. You know that this is difficult in Nigeria. You don't even want your guy to know that you're having a side hustle. Ideally, at the end of the year, you're supposed to go and meet them and say, let me paid me dividend of how much, even though they've collected withholding tax. That's frank investment income. You don't have to pay tax again since withholding tax have been. Or you have a house, they have paid you rent. All those things, the gain you make on it, you are supposed to disclose them and get tax paid on them. That's the law. However, we still see many organizations breaking down this emolument or salaries, and they do that principally for some payments to the government. For instance, if I put all your emolument together, I will be paying more pension on you as an employer. But if I have broken it down into basic, transport, and housing, which is the basis for employers' contribution on pension, I will reduce my additional expenses on pension. So that's why you see organizations still breaking it down. They will take 8% for staff, and that 10% coming from them, they will break it down so that they know it's useless if not for this purpose, because you still pay tax on all, both basic and other allowances. Let me quickly mention now that there's what we call tax planning. Provided you are not going against the law and then you are being intelligent and smart about it. What some organizations do, some they pay salary twice. They say mid-month salary, month-end salary. The mid-month salary, they will write you a letter as if they are paying it to you to go and do trading, and it will be expensed directly. Some organization will say, you know what? They will name an allowance. They can call it wardrobe allowance. They can say tire allowance. They can say motor vehicle maintenance allowance. And they will say, we'll pay it to you quarterly. Anytime they pay you that money, just bring the receipts. Once you bring receipts, you understand me? It means that it's cost to the company, not what you have earned. So for that reason, those must be backed off the payroll. That's tax planning. You could do it. Yes. Some organization every year, they would have backed us some millions of naira from the employee payment. I can mention one or two companies that do that now. They will call it, they call it any name. They just say yearly gifts. Some say yearly benefits. They will give you a voucher. You cannot go, they'll say which, they'll give you a list of shops. They'll not give you the voucher. So go and pick anything in the shop. So they are not giving you money. They are giving you gifts. They are not, this company giving you, it's not, you don't earn it. So you can also do that. You don't go to the place, the company is paying the vendor directly, not you. People do that. What other people will now do is they go there, they are ready to give me my cash. I don't need anything. But like I said, these are planning that you can do. There are loopholes in the law that you can use to reduce your tax. So just to let you know, man, breaking of salary will not reduce your tax because tax is based on the total emolument. But there are other creative ways that you can do this. Other things you can also do to reduce your tax is do voluntary contribution to pension. Go and get mortgage. The interest you are paying on that mortgage is tax exempt. Go and do life assurance for 2-3 years. The premium you are paying is tax exempt. So if you do all this, you will practically reduce the impact of your tax. So that's the answer to the first one.
So, okay, I think I've answered the second one too. I can answer to say when you break it's all except you are creative about it. Then the other one is 800K. Is that not too small? I think what I was presenting. This last two trading. So for land use trading, is state-based. Are you with me? So if I'm going to give you a direct answer to that, it's still a law. You will still be charged based on your property. But I think what most state governments are doing is to reduce the rates so that the impact is not too much, especially on the pensioners. For the pensioners, they reduce because they don't work anymore. Where do you expect them to have huge sums? And I think Lagos has responded to that about 2 years ago. So it's still there, but it's a state law because it's a state that collected that money. So for those shops, they try to streamline some of them in the new act. And one of the ways they want to reduce the impact of those local government coming is that they have advised that the state authority should automate that process. And they've also tried to advise them to reduce the number of tax heads that you can't come for tournament, radio, it's a long list that should be streamlined. So again, I must say this, that we are still expecting guidelines on how some of these things will pan out. This was what Taiwan Idele mentioned, sir. Hello, sir. On a Tuesday at the symposium held by ICANN, that the guideline is being worked on, and they are delaying it a bit because they want to streamline the two acts outside, the one from National Assembly and the gazetted one. So people now said government have they suspended it. No, he only said they are trying to streamline the two laws to make it just one. And that is why they've not released the guidelines. But the guidelines are ready, but they are just waiting for that to be streamlined before they issue. So to answer your question, sir, it has not been suspended. Then I go to 800 and rent 500K. Where is Oga? Okay. Okay. Just to say that this relief is not meant for big men. I said it when I was talking. It's for us, the low income earners. And we are very happy about it. Okay. Yeah. Yes. I will tell you they were there. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Hello, ma. Let me quickly explain. They have been factoring because what is taxable pay is your gross minus your reliefs. So for somebody earning, say 840, they will remove pension. Pension is not taxable. You understand me? They will remove NHM if it's doing NHM. They will remove the rent relief before you now get the taxable pay. By the time you remove these two, you understand me? You will still be, it will now be below or just at 800,000. So they are captured indirectly. The calculation was done to ensure that all the people getting minimum wage, they will be under the rates. Do you understand, man? So they are there. And for the rent too, it's just a relief. The intention of the law is not to pay rent for anybody, but just to reduce the burden of rent. That's why they said 20% of the rent or maximum of 500,000. Don't forget that if you are a owner of the house, you are not going to be there. If you own your house, that tax rent relief is not applicable to you. So just to reduce impact of rent on the low income earners, basically. So whatever you pay is 20% of it, or subject to maximum of 500,000. So it means that you are paying, say, 2 million. You understand me? And we do 20% of 2 million, or let's say 3 million. It's now higher than 500. they will only pay you 500. But if it's below than 500, they will only release you what exact amount the 20% is. So I think the mindset is this rent relief is not for the big boys. Yes. I also understand that most houses in Lagos, you say in Akute, you are likely to be paying more than 500,000 or all those far places. But the intention is to reduce the burden, not to pay the rent. Am I communicating? Then in terms of input VAT and all that stuff that Oga raised, you know, I said input VAT now is on all purchases. So it means that when you buy a computer, even though you're a service organization, you buy computer, you buy anything, and you pay tax on it. You can push it in now as a input VAT and pay net between output and input to the government. So it's now on all purchasing, whether it's material or other things. So they have been captured in this new law. Prior to now is for the benefit of the manufacturing company and all that. But now everybody can do because you can claim it on all purchases. Yes, sir. Then the other one is basic for look. I think I've answered that. So say if you like, call the relief, the allowances, call them 20 million, and call the basic 100,000. You will still pay tax on everything, except we are being creative, like I mentioned. There. Yes. Then even Olosho people, if I leave, it's not me that send it to. Yes. Okay. Then the other issue is on tax ID, tax payer ID, TIN, and all that. Let me just say this categorically. All of us, we have NIN before now. Then we have our payer ID with the state tax agents before now. We all have. What they want to do now is to streamline it. So that they are not calling it a new name. They call it tax identity number. You understand me? And if you notice, there are two links going around. One is from the state where you reside. The other is from the joint revenue board. So the one from the state and the one from the joint revenue board, they are linked there together. So if you get your tax ID on the link of the state, you will get the state ID that you'll be using going forward. If you do it on the joint tax board, you will get both. They will give you the state and the joint revenue board's phone. So, like I said, you don't need this to open an account, but ultimately, a tax authority wants to be able to identify you uniquely. And that's why they are bringing up a new tax identity number, which is very easy for those of us that have tried it. Within 3 minutes, you will get the two. So that is what the case is. Yes. Okay. And the last one is on real estate. Is it real estate among the people that will enjoy the EDI? Yes. Real estate comes under construction. Yes. In fact, you are one of the key players there. Then you also mentioned local government harassment and all that. So what they are trying to do under the new standard is to reduce the contact of those local government people coming to you. I don't see that going almost immediately. I would like to, and that's personal opinion, but at some point we will get there. Because these guys make daily money from there. They collect X amount, they render low amount. So you don't want to cut that off there, it will not happen so soon. Let we not deceive ourselves, but we will get there at some point. Yes, sir. Then the other one is on collection of rents by estate agents. Now, you know the issue of government will be checking your account, government will take tax from your money, they will carry your deposit. I mean, we've been able to dispel that rumor. There's nothing like that. You understand me? As we speak, even without tax reform act, if you do subsistence transaction, they report it to CBN. If you don't know, I'm telling you. And they just look at it. This guy has been doing million transaction. All of a sudden, billion enter. Hey, you understand me? They will raise it that this guy carrying big money.
just for them to prove it's already happening. But what we need to note is that one of the principles behind this tax law is that government will not tax your earnings. They will not tax your earnings. They only tax your net income or profits. So somebody has done transaction with you. They're not stupid. You understand me? They won't tax you based on the transaction amount. They will be taxing you on what you have made. And that's why we see what we call self-assessment. So the businessman, at the end of the year, do your normal account. You understand me? Calculate what you think is due to the government and send it to them by way of self-assessment. If they have questions, they will come to you and you prove it. Tenants, it paid rent. That's not my money. I only have a 5% or 10% on it. That's my own income, or that's my profit. They will, and that's why again we have the humbled courts, so to say. If they mess you up too much, go to those people, they will come and defend you. They can't, I mean, come on, they can't do that. It's not your money. They are expected to pay tax on profit or your net income. And the last one is one side is the law is there. Then, sir, let me say this. WHT, that we call withholding tax, and value-added tax, they are not the same. People think that when they pay VAT, you understand, automatically you are using VAT to offset WHT. They are two different tax. VAT, you collect it on behalf of the customer government when you invoice your customer. It's 7.5% on the invoice amount. WHT is what you are retaining from the invoice amount, you know, when you are paying your vendor. There are two different taxes and you remit both to the government accordingly. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm sure we are all concerned with the new tax reform. So, President, so at this stage we need to do the presentation. So I'd like to invite all the team and the president and our speaker, Mr. Sheyi. And I want to personally appreciate our resident nominee designate, Rotary Moses, for obliging us this wonderful man. Very wonderful. So, Rotary Moses, I'm appreciating you for obliging us this gentleman that is full of tax. Everything about it, I think, is just about tax. And so,
my lecturer.
Your lecturer, and I'm even happy that the product of my own higher institution, Yaba College of Technology. So, and Yaba College of Technology is incredible. It's the best in the whole country because that is where you bring out technocrats, people that are sound. So, congratulations. So, when you see products from Yaba Tech, you know them. I was going to say you must be from before you know them. So thank you very much. Can I also invite some of our past presidents that are here to join us?
Respond to the message.
So thank you.
Please
Please join us.
Not ID.
Thank you, my president, for giving this honor, because I'm very happy to present this award, because I really enjoyed the lecture. It's like I was back in class, and the way he presented the presentation was so easy and so understandable. So I believe everybody here really enjoyed the lecture, and we learned one of the things there, and we're going to make sure that but as Elijah rightly said, we still need to come and do all this things down for us. So, Mr. Lucy Yolarwaju, the recognition of your valuable understanding presentation as guest speaker at the club seminar on understanding Nigerian new tax reform practical guide to sole operators micro and small business person. So the club find it fit to give you this award this 16th of January 2026 of the Lord, signed by our president, Fumi Adeosun. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much. We want. 11 committee members. Okay, thank you very much. Quickly, I'll take a brief talk from the Rwanda committee. A brief one, very brief, there's one lot of things to do. Okay, thank you very much, Maritime President, for this opportunity to quickly talk about Ryla. But before I do that, let me quickly call on all members of the 2026 Ryla committee. Please come forward. They gave us 2 minutes. We have 3 minutes left. Oh, yes, beautiful. Please give them a round of applause to come forward. These are just some of the members of the, where's Dr. Raquel? Some of the members of the Ryla 2026 committee. Please. Okay. So thank you once again, my return. 2 minutes, please. We're here to talk about Ryla. As you can see, the promise is to be an irresistible one. And we are here to seek on the support of one of the most iconic clubs, not just in District 9111, but the most iconic club in the whole of Lagos, Nigeria, and I dare say in the world all over. So we said we start with storefront. We said we'll start from the Rotary Club of Omoligode. Now we released our sponsorship categories, right? And we have quite a number of them. And we do believe that we have eminent Rotarians here that would sponsor. And I'd like to say that the first watch sponsorship has been taken by myself with some millionaire paid for, right? And the second watch sponsorship was taken by our very own AG Abnedo Shiniposi at 1.5 million naira. And then the other categories that we have for sponsorship are Ryla Vanguards, and that goes for just 3 million naira. We have the Ryla Corporate for 2 million. We have the Ryla Legacy Partner for 10 million. And we have the Platinum Partnership for 20 million. Now you were wondering, what is all this coming from? Why is it important? I'll tell you. There's a member of this committee. His name is K Global. Now we were having a meeting a few days ago. He said to me that we must do so much to raise these funds. And why was that? He said in 2000, he could not attend Ryla because nobody was able to sponsor him. And the effect of Ryla on those children is a long way in their future. There are a few Rotarians here today that you know that attended Rylas in the 80s and in the 90s. So you are sponsoring children, youths between the ages of 15 and 25 to come and get a learning experience. Okay, so we have the GEM sponsorship and I have some gifts for them. So I just need to take commitment. How many of us are going to do that's the word sponsorship? And Dr. Raquel helped me know that. The time of this. Rotary and Nigeria, thank you very much. So those that are sponsoring, please come forward. We just want to give me a short gift. And the return president, please come forward quickly. We have a short gift for you. And our president-elect, please come forward. President-elect, come forward here. Thanks for Ryla. Drive up my IDP, please. The date for Ryla is 1st of August to 9th of August, 2026.
My first check, please join us as well. No, kindly join, kindly join. No. Join us. Immediate, pastoral chair. So on behalf of our district governor, now this cap is a limited edition cap. If I tell you those that have this cap, it will surprise you. There's only one version of this cap that is produced. I see Rotary Muna over there. Rotary Muna, are you going to watch sponsorship for us?
Yes.
Rotary, please come and collect your caps, please. All of those sponsoring, please just come and get your caps. We have very limited options of this cap. Rotarian Muna, please come. Come. Rotarian, my immediate past right. Okay, I'll do it. Rotarian Muna, so African Blood can be please step forward. Let me decorate you with this cap, which of the watch. So it doesn't have to be, you can even send it to your friends. They have various corporate editions, but people with the corporate who have promised us 30 million naira already. Okay, all right. No, the chairman already. Please, hold on. Please give it up for Muna all the way from the United States of America. You want to weigh backwards, so let's wait. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the time. Oh, this is Grace. So our time is fast spent. Our fundraising chair, there's the cap. Our fundraising chair, Dr. Raquel, is with you. She'll get your contact details later today. Now, we're not just saying all this money, stand a lot to benefit when you support this particular RILA program. It's going to be all over the media. So I'll encourage that you use your businesses, okay, to do this. And then you can send it from your business donation, just like the taxman said. So you can do it from your corporate, even if it's 1 million, it's thank you very much. Good job. Thank you very much for our conference today. So far, I know we've done about 20 million here this morning. Dr. Raquel will reach out individually. Thank you, my chairman, today. You can take the microphone. Okay, please, oh, camera. Thank you, the Rana Committee, 26-27. We have something very important that we have to do now. I want to call on. We adding one family today. I was one to the family today. Please can Mojisola. Okay, I'll quickly call on Mrs. Ifeoma Ayate. So please step forward, please. Please, thank you, our of applause, please. Okay, I'll call on the club leader. Okay, just in 1 minute to please talk about the fire.
Thank you very much. Hello, Rotarians. Golden Rotarians. I want you to listen to this. I'm sure some of us we know very well. And some of us will be saying that for the first time. Now, this is just to tell you that Even normally goes in on the sabbatical leave, will not totally eliminate you from being received back or accepted back. For a good reason, GMAC, for whom we know very well, at least she was occupying the position of a project chair, and she did fantastically well during the PAG and fellow group tenure. If at that moment we had introduced what we call the VP, whom she would have doing that. So she's back with us, hale and healthy. So we're happy to receive her back. And for mention, you need to do it. Because when you go on sabbatical leave and you're back, we will chat with you, ask you reasons why you left, and if you find that very good, we will accept you back. So, Rotarians, now Rotarians, if he is back with us, so can we give her a round of applause? I welcome madam. There's no formal thing we're going to do. Just go back to your wardrobe, bring your pins, I know you have them, put them back, and if you don't, you can buy them. So there's no ceremony to work with me. Nothing. You're welcome, ma'am.
You're welcome, Rotarian. Okay. Quickly, I will call on the sponsor of OM, Mrs. Grace Modisola to please step forward, the president of Rotarian. Evening, please. Rotarian, evening. Okay, number 2 chair, please. My Rotarian President, fellow Rotarians, guests and friends, good morning. Right about now, we are set to induct a new member, and I will respectfully request that Mrs. Grace Ademola please be upstanding. A round of applause for her. And here's a profile for us to note. Grace Ademola is a highly accomplished senior banking executive with more than 38 years of professional experience, including over 30 years of leadership in the financial services industry. She possesses deep expertise in credit, risk management, retail and business banking, portfolio strategy, financial control, product development, and regulatory compliance. Grace retired as a Deputy General Manager and Head of Credit Risk Management at Standard Chartered Bank, Nigeria, where she led credit strategy, policy formulation, portfolio governance, and risk oversight for Nigeria and West African cluster. Known for her strategic insight, analytical depth, and leadership excellence, Grace is committed to driving sustainable growth, strengthening risk governance, mentoring the next generation of leaders outside work, reading, cooking, traveling, supporting community and women-focused initiatives. She served as the National Vice President of our alumni, Lagos African Girls Grammar School, and recently the President of the 1980 years set. She's a member of the Lions Club International, Lagos Country Club, and the Ikoyi Club 1928. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Grace Ademola for induction. Mr. President, I hereby hand over to you. Thank you. Number 6 here. Please, can I call on my PhD Colonel to be step up, please? To the most senior role, please. Okay. My PP manager of this next level as well. We'll try to get some honor. Is she around? Please, can I step forward? The club trainer, my IPP. and the future of public health university, please.
Yes, hello, microphone. On behalf of the president and the entire member of the public club, it's a pleasure to admit you to membership today. This is an important occasion. Having fun here. The worthy of this member. What Rotary is like an organization right now. Okay, so once we become a resident today, no, by the time we become a resident today, we don't have any excuse not to know everything about Rotary. Rotary is a very important time, which is why we give you this set of documents to enable you continue to learn about Rotary, the object of Rotary, the purpose of Rotary, and the way we want to operate. But we have this password. I'm able to decorate you, which will formally make you one of our members. The symbol of this is universal. Once you put this on, Rotary is all over the world. Anybody who's a return and thinking, or somebody who knows about it, they automatically try to make assumptions that hence you are a good woman, you are somebody who other, you are somebody who behaves well, you know, there are so many assumptions that come with it. So you don't want to therefore misuse it or misbehave. You are supposed to be having it on all the time. Because Rotary is almost like a way of life. Yeah, if you look at the concept of Rotary, because it's a club where you are supposed to impact family, community, building, association, and all of that. So Rotary does all that question. Therefore, if you with this, it's kind of your introduction to the membership, you wear the dignity, you not bring it to disrepute. Rotary is 100 years old. So you are coming to the 40 days, making an international certificate. I was hoping to know earlier about you to know about Rotary. Rotary is not a social club, so it's a service club. You are supposed to play a role about all these things so that function properly. Need to bring about the good that we seek to do all around the world. Congratulations to you. There's a certificate there which of membership. You want to display this in your office so that anybody who comes around know that your utility of money will be stopped.
Nobody has nobody. All of now, we're going to the public. Let's do it what we have to do right. We have to do it right. Okay, Rotary, my baby, please. My baby, yes, can you get the answer, please? For the VOP.
Welcome back, Lieutenant Ethan Ayati. I'll bring you down to speak.
One more time.
Thank you very much, Michael.
I think that helps go with something. Yes, I was about. Don't forget my, okay, I want Rotarian Grace Modisola, those Ademola to celebrate ourselves. I don't want to, they'll celebrate themselves first.
Thank you, Rotarian. Thank you, Senior. Thank you, my leaders. And thank you for welcoming me into the club. I appreciate your time. I appreciate everyone that I've spoken with. I appreciate everyone that I've met. I appreciate the love that was shown to me, that has been shown to me every time I attend the picture with it. And I know that by being here in the grace of God, I'll also be myself and enjoy the activity. Thank you very much.
Please, let's allocate a 50,000 naira. The sponsor first. Okay. Let me celebrate you with 10,000. 10,000 naira. No, I'm going to you. The sponsor, 50,000 naira. The sister, our friend. The sister. 20,000 naira. My immediate council chair, how?
10,000.
8,000 naira. My blood cake. 5,000 naira. And the matter is still the break up, please. That will be. Oh, I think you're wearing a Ryla cap.
Okay,
Glove.
oh, she does. Okay, so let's support her with 10,000 naira.
Rotary, this one, this one, please. Okay. 10,000 naira. Thank you very much. Now, okay,
Because this, I'm a year older than you. Exactly 1 year. I'm a year older than her. So I'm celebrating her. I'm celebrating myself as well. With an awesome song. Awesome song. Oh, 100,000.
very much. Any other? Any other? Okay. Rotarian, yes.
Good morning, fellow Rotarians. I'm not actually new.
No, you're not new.
I just took a break. So I'm back. Thank you very much. So, welcoming myself back, this my family, every Rotarian here has to celebrate me. Every Rotarian. Minimum is 5,000.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. 5,000 naira.
Every Rotarian, and I'll support all Rotarians with 10,000.
Thank you very much. Regarding some of the 5,000 years, the years added. Thank you very much. Yeah, let's say, let's say, just give me please. Let's say, okay, please, before the class, please, I'll call on to the eye. You can pass the please. You want me to do this, please? Rotarian, remember you're welcome. I want to put Texas. In 1 minute, please. Oh, let's go on. SO, please. SO. In 2 minutes, please. Madam President, I think I'm going to start with salvation. Now, good morning. Okay, please,
Maritime President, I say thank you for this opportunity. I know our time is fast spent. With the sum of 5,000 naira, I'm saying this. I would like to have that lady over there with a fan. I think she's a Rotarian with a yellow cap. Please, can you be upstanding? Mona, yeah, please be upstanding. 5,000 naira, be upstanding. My president, I just want to use this moment to celebrate and appreciate Rotarian Mona. Because sometimes in October, myself and Rotarian Louis was in a city in Houston, Texas, and she took very good care of us. And she said she will come to the club as well and show love to the club. Yes. So with another song for me and Rotarian Louis, I'll do another 10,000. That's 20,000. 5,000, and then I'll have Rotary celebrate when she comes to Lagos. Rotary Amuna, you're most welcome. 25,000, so you can just double the double.
Thanks. But let me start from you initially and tell not to do that first. Let me start. My question, I'm not going to stop. That's what I go to. And I'm going to see to solve this point. I'm proud to be.
1 minute more, my say, please.
I will.
Okay, once our time is past spent, I'll do, and I've already done some things. We'll do 5,000.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, my say.
Also, I close my president. Unfortunately, okay, she's there. Alaga. Sure.
Quickly, we have spent the ground today, once today. So I'll call on Rotary and Olagudu, Dr. Olagudu, please, Dr. Olagudu, please. The clock runs yesterday. It's 45, so once they go to the ground, And also, and again, our condos submitted within the last 1 week, Rotarian and Gani Rotarian, FSK, please join now. Please, let's talk about please. All the celebrate the last 1 week, please, can you step forward, please? Oh, yeah, just go first alone. Only the president, you are not celebrating your 45 minutes. Photographer, please. Five, 500. Let's write and sit for a while and take it, please. Let's go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Oh, that's about 3 times, please. Lord. May the time your portion, Lord, bless. Hip, hip, hip. Thank you very much. Oh, you can just separate yourself together and the 3 years, please. Somebody else will say.
Thinking for.
We have 5 photos. I guess. 525.
Thank you very much. We will take up on the I celebrate myself with 40,000 naira. Thank you very much.
40,000 naira. That's how much this. Please, I want to call on the PNB. Please, can you just stand? Yes. I know I have to use this around you. The guys who can claim the money, I just stand it. The guys who can claim the money will money for you. So please, just say something. How much on board rules? 571. 572. Can you just bring it down? Let me just close it down. I can't find you.
Yeah, we're just 800.
So,
How much would the 572?
600,000 naira, please. 600. Thank you very much. Can I call on? Thank you very much. Can I call on?
Honorable President, Rotarians, guests and friends of this global family, I, Lieutenant Adani, want to use this opportunity to thank all the past presidents of this club, and we also thank all the wonderful brothers and sisters that have supported me financially and morally, physically, in the demise of my mom. Your presence, education, and what is going to me, and I really appreciate. I want to say thank you to continue to strengthen us all. And I want to put all
Celebration at the Christmas party, you're not there. Okay, we'll make it together with them.
Can we stand up as we take shall we rise to take the first place? Shall we rise to take the first? If you have something in your glass cup, you can raise it up. As we propose those in this order. First toast goes to the Almighty God. The second toast goes to all our doctors. Looking for Club of Omodogori Impact. Omodogori Impact. Looking Club of Ikeja Connect. Looking Club of Omodogori. Omodogori. The next page visiting the children that has come from far and near to celebrate because today, all visiting Rotarians. The next one goes to our district who has given us this platform to come together as well. District 9111. 9111. National.
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
And the last one goes to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you, my president.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now we can now and the shout of Omodogori. There will be down. So dream with God. Gary Rotary always. National anthem. My president, I just want to quickly observe Rotarian and Adetola, they are disrespecting your office here. Fellowship is still on, and they have created another meeting there. And you still have the collarette on. I think this is something that you should deal with my Rotarian president.
Noted my IPP.
The national anthem, the new national anthem. So,